Forrest is making faces at me. He's sticking out his tongue. He winks. He winked at me.
Looking good with your new phone case.
Oh yeah, I got a phone case.
Hot pink.
That's not. I got a phone case like despite Forrest's like adamant disapproval of it.
Yeah, I wasn't happy to see it, but it's actually more of a coral pink. It's a nice color. It matches your water bottle pretty well.
Yeah, I like
your flask, whatever. What do you call that? Hydro?
This is just like a water bottle, like a tumbler, I guess.
Oh, a tumbler?
I guess that's what you would call it.
Yeah, and the color matches impeccably.
Yeah. I don't think it, was designed that way. Just so happened. I didn't have a phone case on my phone for like a really long time. Like pretty much ever since me and Forrest got married and he started paying for my phone. But I got one because I dropped my phone the other day while I was like getting out of the car. Like I was like holding Luna. I was kind of struggling a bit trying to get Luna out of her car seat and like holding her. And I dropped it and it fell out of the car in the parking lot. And I got like a little scratch on my phone, and then the corner of it kind of got all like jagged and rough.
Yeah, you were lucky that it didn't.
Yeah,
get
it
more
felt
damaged.
really bad. Like I thought it was gonna be bad. Like I was like, oh, like my screen's gonna be cracked, but it wasn't.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's a little bit jagged,
So I got this phone.
makes sense to the case. But I mean, the jaggedness will wear down over time.
Yeah. I got this phone case from Amazon just because I was like, like, I feel like that was a warning, like a warning sign. Like, Alyssa, you gotta put a case on your phone.
Just be more careful. Yeah, I don't like cases because dirt and crap and gunk gets like trapped in them, like in the corners, like under the phone and on the sides. And I really don't think they help like actually protect the phone. If anything, I think they damage it more.
That's definitely a theory.
Like, I mean, if you get like an OtterBox or some sort of like case that's structurally engineered and designed very well to like if I worked on a construction site, I'd probably have a case, if I'm like, working with chemicals and crazy shit all the time. Like if I was like jackhammering roads, it would make sense to get an OtterBox, like a big fat case. I see like construction workers with those sometimes. But if you're just like, ordinary everyday civilian, it's like kind of put in like a sleek, like, sports car in like a hentai like wrap or something. You know how like some people get their cars like wrapped with like decals like all around. Something really like ridiculous, like like an ad for like Blue Chew or something.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't complement the phone.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I didn't necessarily get it for like appearances or like aesthetics. Also Luna like is always on my phone and playing with my phone.
That's
and
the thing, like Luna's so grubby.
Watching
she's got the grubby little fingers. She's always got banana hands and stuff. So she's gonna touch it, and the silicone in the phone case is gonna like absorb.
It's not silicone. Like touch it, it's like hard.
Yeah, no, but there's like a plastic like mesh, like this part here. This is gonna get saturated with grease. It's like almost like a sponge. It's not as porous as a sponge, but it's over time it will absorb the ingredients of of the environment that surrounds it.
Silicone,
whereas like
even if it was
the phone
silicone,
itself is just like metal and glass. Like you can just clean it. Like you can't really clean something like this. Like it'll start to stain over time. It'll yellow.
Well, it wasn't that expensive. It was it was $40.
$40
on Amazon.
This phone case was $40.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's like 1/20th the price of the phone.
I didn't want to buy like a complete like shit one. Like I had one in my cart.
I thought you were gonna say this was like $5.
No. I had one in my cart that was like.
It's a racket. They scam people.
I had one in my cart
industry.
that was like like $16 or something. But I was looking at the reviews and it had like all types of shitty reviews, and this one had all good reviews.
Can you pop it out of its case for me? I want to examine the jagged side, the jagged edge.
No, it's pretty hard to take out.
Oh, is it
I'm
too...
just gonna keep it.
Okay,
in.
sure. Well,
it really stressed Forrest out when he saw it, and I knew it was gonna stress him out, but I just did it. I'm sorry, babe.
It stresses me out for sure, but other people, when they see me without a phone case, it's like, oh, you're crazy, you're so brave. I literally every time I bring up my phone in front of people, yeah. I'm like the only person I've ever met who doesn't have a phone case.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe I met one other person one time.
Like,
I should have been friends with him.
But before I had this phone case, like, we were hanging out with like your parents or something, and like your dad was like trying to convince me that like phone cases are necessary, and I was like, look, Shane, like, it's not me. Like, talk to your son. Like,
people who have phone cases, they drop their phone more than anyone else.
Wow.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, if you get something to like protect, I'm like very superstitious just when it comes to phone cases. Like everything else, I believe you should have like insurance and stuff, but when it comes to phone cases, I just feel like it's like one of these things where like you're worried you're gonna like drop your phone, so you get a phone case, and then because you're so worried about it, you're anxious, you get the jitters, then you drop your phone more. Plus, the phone case is like I said, it absorbs grease and particulates, and it slides right out of your hand.
Luna doesn't care, like, doesn't know about, or like she doesn't know that it'll break if she drops it.
Yeah.
So like I mainly got it for this jagged part that is there now, and also because Luna is constantly like has my phone.
Can you pass some of that cheese over there?
Yeah, I have some cheese.
Some Tillamook.
Bought this huge, like, did we talk about this on the last podcast? We're still eating this like huge block of cheese that we bought.
We recorded the last podcast like not too long ago.
Yeah,
our
I think
days keep getting jumbled around because of Mason's crazy schedule.
Yeah.
Mason like came over yesterday. Well, we were supposed to record the podcast on Sunday, but he was busy with like family stuff. And then Monday was like Memorial Day. Memorial Day.
That was a really fun day.
That was a fun day. And then I think he was busy like fucking Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Something. Yeah, he got swamped with work.
We usually record our podcast, like this podcast, on Tuesday
nights. Yeah, but then Mason came over yesterday to snag the equipment, the sound recording, the microphone and the microphone adapter thing. So we didn't have the option to record our podcast. So
now it's on Wednesday.
Now we're recording on a Wednesday. But yeah, the last one we recorded like, I don't know.
I think
not a whole week ago.
I think we recorded the last one on Thursday because we were like talking about our like huge block of cheese that we bought from Costco.
Yeah. It's so good, guys.
Yeah, we're still eating it, but it's like nearing the end because we've been eating like a little piece of it every day.
I don't think we should get another one.
No, we're definitely getting another one.
I feel like cheese is bad for you.
No, that's fine.
I feel like, I don't know. It doesn't seem right. It's too good. That's how you know something's bad for you, if it tastes really good.
No, we're for sure getting another block of cheese.
It looks like a gold brick.
Luna really likes it.
It's so visually appealing.
Like,
yeah, it's good for Luna,
Luna's
I guess.
been eating...
I don't know.
I've been feeding Luna like these like string cheeses from Costco.
It's definitely better than the string cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, just as like a little snack, like if she's hungry, like while like I'm cooking something else. And she likes this way more. Like I can just tell her like...
Isn't there like a TikTok person you follow who's like, is this good food or not? Or what's the... What does it say?
Oh yeah, like clean or crappy.
Yeah, clean or crappy.
Uh-huh.
Is Tillamook cheese clean?
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe I should go look at her TikTok.
Am I pronouncing that right? Tillamook?
Yeah, Tillamook. I feel like it's clean, but I don't know.
Have you checked the ingredients?
No, it's a good question.
Damn it, we should have checked. It's probably terrible. I don't know, it just tastes so pure.
Yeah, that's
something
what
about
I'm
it.
saying. Yeah, it tastes really good. It's kind of like the Kerrygold like Irish butter that they have at Costco. That's clean,
Yeah.
but it's like
Clean
really
or crap.
delicious.
Yeah. TikTok, you can really rely on that app to just give you all the necessary information you need for life.
I've gotten so many like ideas from TikTok.
Yeah. Recently, my talks haven't been as fresh as they used to be, though. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. I'm like spending too long on like the certain talks. I need to like, because you're always like fighting against the algorithm. You know what I mean? Like if I see a hot chick, while I'm scrolling through TikTok, I'm like, I gotta swipe up immediately. I can't linger on this at all. Or like else, when we watch TikToks together, I'm gonna be recommended more hot chicks, and then you're gonna be like, all like insecure and side eyeing me, and all like questioning me, like, oh, is that your girlfriend or whatever? I don't want to deal with that, so whenever I see a chick, I just gotta swipe up like real fast.
Wow, I can't believe I've trained you to not to just swipe.
I mean, if
on
I want to
chicks.
see hot chicks, I can just look up porn and jerk off to that. But I don't need to see them when I'm scrolling through TikTok. I don't really want to see them. You know what I mean? Like in the moment, I might because they might be hot or whatever. But like, it's more important that I keep my TikTok clean with just straight up non-sexual content.
That's crazy.
It takes a little bit of power in me to like just swipe up, and
you don't have to swipe up, babe.
No, I do.
Why not?
Because I don't want you to like see all these like hot chicks on my TikTok all the time. Like, well, what? Because we lay down in bed together at night and we watch TikToks together, and I want our TikTok experience to be good.
You don't like when I say like, oh, like that's your girlfriend?
No, I mean I don't mind it. It's just more like I want the TikToks to be like funny or entertaining. I don't want just a bunch of sexual TikToks. Because that's what my TikTok was when I first started. Like when I first started using the app, it was just all like sexy girls like dancing and stuff. Because I would always watch those ones, and then I started telling it to like not recommend me that, and I would just swipe up immediately if I ever saw a chick come up. But every once in a while, if they throw some my way, I'm just like, nope, not today. Sorry.
We could just watch my TikToks.
Your TikToks are like really serious though. I just work hard on curating my algorithm to be like funny. Like I just want to watch TikToks that are like amusing or like lighthearted. Your TikToks are like really stern. Like they're always like about like statistics and like serious political
That's not
stuff.
always true.
Sometimes there's like some funny ones, but I feel like my TikToks like typically they come out a little more like on the entertainment side of things. So yeah, sometimes we watch your talks too, though. For a different flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like kind of hardcore right before we go to bed. I don't want to be thinking about like gun statistics and gun violence right before I drift off.
I don't know what you're
Sleepy
talking
land.
about. Like my TikToks aren't like that.
What kind of TikToks do you? Well, you get like a lot of like health ones too, and like mommy talks.
Health. Like I get lots of like recipe TikToks.
Yeah.
And I get like health ones and mom TikToks.
I like TikToks that are like fails or like wins or just like really simple or just like really goofy shit, like people just making like really funny comedy skits or little things that you're like, and you share with a few friends. But yeah, you have like a lot of like cute kids on your TikTok and stuff too, though.
Yeah.
I get some of those too since I'm a dad, so like they send those cute kid ones my way as well. But yeah, it's a good platform. I should post on it more. I need to really post a talk a day, but I just don't have the content. I gotta like kind of juice up the talks and take more opportunities to make them. But it takes time to make stop motion. Can't happen like every single day. I could make a talk a day in stop motion, but then I wouldn't have any time for like the actual real videos. What was your favorite TikTok recently?
I probably sent it to you. I saw one of like a huge elephant.
How big was he?
He was big, and he was like coming like right up to people in this video.
Nice. Where was it?
I don't know.
You don't have it? I thought you were going to pull it up.
Oh, well, I just don't necessarily want to like
You don't want to describe TikToks to people?
Yeah, like I don't like this like whole kind of like, oh, like look at this, and then it's like they can't see what we're talking
don't care.
about.
They're just
I
they're just tuning
definitely
in to
care.
listen
Like if I were
to us talk.
if I'm listening to a podcast and they start like talking about things that I can't see, like I'm just like, this is lame. Like just talk to like the audience.
See, for me, it makes me curious. It makes me lean in more. Like, because then you really
well,
have
that's
to
the thing is
really
I'm
have to rely on
curious.
the audio description more so than the
That's
visuals.
the thing is like I'm curious and like I'm being deprived of like satisfying my curiosity.
Yeah, but if you describe it well enough, people will be satisfied. I think. They tune in here to listen, and use a different part of their brain. Have you ever had an entire TikTok feed described to you for hours on end? Like tune in to just for clicks.
Yeah.
Weekdays at 11.
Mhm. I cut my finger yesterday.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Cutting up the cheese block.
Oh yeah, you were really slicing into that cheese. She was attacking it with this butter knife.
Yeah,
And
it was
somehow-
literally just a butter knife, and I cut my left index finger, and it was like bleeding like a lot. I was like surprised. Like I kind of at first I just thought like, oh, like it's just a little butter knife, like it wasn't that bad or whatever. But it was bleeding for like a really long time.
That's crazy, babe.
I know.
Yeah.
Now it's like wrapped in this like gross.
Why doesn't your blood
bandage.
like what's that word? Coagulate?
Yeah. Is there something wrong with me?
I don't know. You have like really thin blood or something?
I guess like it just hit some like vein or something, because it was like coming out like really fast.
Yeah.
But it eventually stopped. I'm okay.
Was it like a deep cut, you think?
Like I don't think so.
It's crazy. I was so surprised because you weren't even using like a real knife. It was literally a butter knife.
Yeah.
It had like some kind of sharper points on it, I guess.
Yeah.
For like cutting. It wasn't like completely, I don't know. It just wasn't, it didn't look like an intense knife.
Mhm.
But yeah, then you also didn't you like cut your other finger too?
Oh, I like broke my nail on my thumb.
Oh yeah, can I see that?
Yeah, so it's fine. I just had to cut it, and like now it's just like really short.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it was kind of like longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. You've got nice nails.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice hands. You want me to go ahead and read you the Parents Guide for Zootopia?
We were having this conversation about like the rating system on movies, and because I was kind of just like, like Forrest is completely against it. He thinks it's like stupid.
Yeah, the Motion Picture, Pixar, the Motion Picture Association of America.
And I was
They're a
kind
bunch
of
of con
thinking
artists.
like I don't really get why you feel that way, because you do need like parents. Like what if like you wanted to take your kid to go see a movie that was like in the movie theater, and then so it's like, okay, so you have to like go to the movie theater first by yourself to like review the movie and decide like whether or not you're gonna take your kid to it, and like that's just a bit excessive, but like that's what I feel like I would have to do like if we didn't have this like system or whatever. Well, that's just what I want to do anyways, really. But without the system, I feel like how would you know like what movies were appropriate?
Yeah, there's this really
Or
good
not.
documentary called "This Film Is Not Yet Rated,"
Mm-hmm.
and it really dives in deep on the problems with the MPAA and how they use their power to censor films. They're basically like judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to like art and how it's displayed on theater screens and also on Netflix. They have like no oversight. They're a Christian organization that works
Are
to
you sure they're Christian?
yeah, they're a Christian organization meant to dismantle films and create problems for artists, basically, based on their own moral predispositions. It's really, really fugly. Yeah, you should watch this movie, guys. It's called This Film Is Not Yet Rated. It's really good.
But
We should watch it
then-
together sometime
But
soon.
then Forrest showed me this like thing. What is that?
Oh yeah, and
It's like the
I was saying like
parents'
you don't
guide.
even need these fuckers because we have IMDb, and you go to the parents' guide, and it
then
will
it
list
shows you, like,
everything.
Like beat for beat, like basically like every kind of like inappropriate or like violent or sexual thing that happens in this movie.
Yeah,
And I like that. And but I also like was kind of like, you definitely have to like read the descriptions of what they're talking about. Like you can't just like be like, oh, it gave it a mild, because like he was showing me like the parents guide for like Goodfellas or whatever, and it said like sexuality was mild, and then it goes on to explain that like there's like a guy getting a blowjob, and it's like you can see the girl's head like bobbing up and down.
right.
And I'm like, that doesn't seem like mild to me. Like what would severe be? Like just straight up like porn? Like
I mean, like there's not like a scene of like someone getting like bent over, and like slammed with their titties bouncing around.
so yeah, that's basically like porn at that point.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's not porn because you don't see penetration. It's more like simulated sex for like
Yeah.
the production. So, but yeah, I wouldn't really call that mild either. Like the blowjob thing, it
Yeah.
has to be like somewhere in between.
So yeah,
yeah.
just you definitely
You
have
should
to
really just like
read
watch
it.
movies and like gauge for yourself if they're appropriate for your children instead of like relying on like hacks on the internet or like hacks in some like stupid organization to tell you how to think.
Yeah.
Let's see. Themes and discussion. Yeah, so like I mean, I could go on and on about this, but essentially they suck and they should
That's like
not
a
not have
section
any
that
power, but they do because they've been doing it for a long time.
that's a section that I care about, is themes and discussion. I
Yeah.
feel like that's like a huge important factor in like movies and TV that
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of like people might overlook because it's so subtle. Like if you're like a parent like trying to choose a movie for your kid to watch, like you might, oh, okay, there's nothing like violent or nothing sexual in this. Okay, that's fine. Like you can watch it or whatever. But it's like, what themes are your kids absorbing through this film? What messages are they learning?
The appeals board includes 2 members of the clergy, 1 Catholic
Oh my God.
priest, and 1 Protestant, who may or may not have voting power.
What?
Ah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the clergy.
So it's not
Call
even
them the clergy.
Protestant. It's like all Catholic people.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. We should watch this movie though. It's cool. But yeah, let's get back to Zootopia. Sex and nudity, none. There are a few notes though. Judy is uncomfortable when visiting a nudist camp. Since the characters are all animals, it doesn't matter that they're naked, but as the film is set in a world where animals do normally wear clothes, they can still be considered nudists. How do you feel about that?
That's fine.
That's chill.
Honestly, Zootopia is like weird because the thing is like the whole thing is like she's a bunny and she wants to be a cop. But bunnies like shouldn't be cops.
Yeah, it seems like they'd be really bad at it.
Like this whole like premise of this movie is like kind of like shitty if you think about it like that.
Like she struggles really hard to like do anything because she's
It's
so
like
small and
if
weak.
I was say I'm in Zootopia.
But she's smarter than the dumb big fat jock cops. They have more muscle, but their brains are teeny. That's the point of the movie.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Okay.
Simple film.
But okay, so say I am an animal who lives in Zootopia. Say I'm like a mid-sized animal, like maybe like a dog or a cat or something like that. Okay. And I need help. I am like getting attacked. Something is going on. Like I need like some like physical help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I call 911. Who do I want?
A freaking flamingo picks up. She's like got the 911 operator shit on.
Who do I want to come help me? Do I want this like bear or like do I want this little bunny?
Well, like the bear, he's like an asshole. Like all the cops, like it was very like.
Do I want a lion to come like save me from like some like intruder or some like attacker, or do I want this like little baby bunny?
Well, the baby bunny will probably find some like way to like use a slingshot to like bounce something off a wall and hit the character or something. Like she'll figure out some sort of like magic trick to like solve the issue.
That's
the world of Zootopia. And like the big lumbering ones, they look tough, but then they're like clumsy and they trip over and they're like rude or racist or something. So like you're kind of fucked either way. The cops just suck in Zootopia.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I get what you're meaning. Like you're saying that like the message is kind of jumbled.
Yeah, like it just doesn't translate over to reality
Doesn't
very
track,
well.
Yeah. You're right.
Like, and
yeah, I don't know if the messages are, really though, what's important is the animation is good. The lighting looks good.
The thing is, it's kind
good
of like
voice acting.
Movies.
Nice colors.
Movies like are kind of just like inherently like even if it's not like necessarily like intentional, like movies kind of act as like propaganda.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
They have a huge influence over us.
Yeah, like the media and movies and everything, like they like control like what everyone thinks. It's not like really like that's pretty much like they hold the power.
You ever heard of
over
the saying
culture.
"monkey see, monkey do"?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're monkeys too. We're freaking monkeys.
And we see the people on the big screen do it, and we're like, oh.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an issue in itself, because like most of the time on screen we see conflict, right? Like you don't make movies about people getting along.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, people always say like, oh, like violent video games don't create mass shooters, or like horror movies don't create serial killers or whatever. And I'm not saying that like they necessarily create serial killers or mass shooters, but it definitely doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
And like I definitely think like it could lead certain corrupted minds like down that path further.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, like I think it's kind of disingenuous to say there's no effect.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't think we should ban. Obviously, I don't think we should ban like violent movies or video games. I mean, that's my bread and butter. I love that shit. But I'm not gonna go out and like be a psycho killer, But for some people, like it will influence them badly. But we just have to acknowledge that that's like just the world we live in, and that could be attributed potentially to some media. So we have to be like aware of that. We can't just deny that's like not true. I don't know. Yeah, it always seems like people are like so like one way or the other with these subjects. Like there's no way that could be linked to like mass shooters or whatever.
Yeah, I think it like
think about it a little bit.
Like violence, like seeing it on the screen or like playing a video game. Like I just think it kind of like desensitizes you to like real like violence and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I don't know.
I played so much Hitman, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like a few years ago, like before we had Luna, like before I like met you, when I was single, like I would just play that like like a lot. I like murdered so many people in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like not even an online game. Like I just like would murder everyone on the map over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And just like it was just like a way to like get out my stress, and I could see like if I wasn't like mentally competent individual, how that could like someone could just make the jump from that to like real life.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't played Hitman in a while. That's a fun game. I want to do a Hitman Agent 47 like Lego video, because Agent 47 is just such a funny character. But I feel like I don't know, my whole life I've like displayed like really like psychopathic like tendencies, but thankfully I have my art to like express that.
Yeah.
Yeah, art's a good outlet for that kind of like caveman energy. That kind of like really toxic masculinity type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But some people just like they can't separate like reality and make believe. I don't know. It's pretty bizarre. Like in the 80s, they blamed like Dungeons and Dragons for like all the satanic cults that were like popping up.
Yeah.
That was like a big deal in the 80s, like the satanic panic.
Yeah.
I like the new season of Stranger Things, like kind of touched on that a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are some cool elements to the new season, but overall it was bad. It's not good.
Damn.
Yeah. But what have you been watching recently? You watch anything cool?
Oh, yeah, we watched like that one movie, like The Neon Demon.
Oh yeah, that was a good
That
one.
was freaky.
Yeah.
That was scary. I'm like not into like anything freaky or creepy anymore. I've never really been, but like especially now, like I'm just so sensitive. Like I get really scared.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it for like days after I watch it.
I think that's kind of the point though, right? Like you're supposed to he wants you to think about it. The director, the writer.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, The Neon Demon's like about, it's like Elle Fanning, and she's like this young, like super beautiful like model in like LA. She like just came to LA, and everyone's like jealous of her because she keeps getting these like jobs and like just like climbing really high in like the fashion world, like or in like the modeling world, like really fast because she's just like so beautiful. And yeah, so everyone's like jealous of her, and yeah, it's like really creepy. It gets really, really disturbing like towards the end and stuff. Like it was like we watched like half of it like one night, and then like I was kind of like, and then the next half the next night, and I remember like I was totally like thrown off like the second night because like it's like pretty normal, like the first half of it.
Yeah,
like it's like, not obvious that it's gonna take this like super crazy like disturbing turn like the first half.
It's
like,
definitely got like a really weird tone throughout,
yeah,
but it definitely like amps up. Yeah, nothing really like violent happens or anything early on. Yeah, all the like fucked up shit kind of happens later. But yeah, it gets like increasingly disturbing throughout.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that it was like, yeah, you guys should see it if you haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it,
but yeah, that was cool. And then like the night after that we started watching Zoolander, which is like another movie about models, but it's like
it's so fun. I didn't even think about that.
It's like a funny, like chill,
completely different tone.
Hilarious movie about models.
Yeah, Alyssa just wanted to kind of lighten up the tone a bit.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't want to watch like Forrest was like trying to like get me to watch all this like other like really intense movies, and I was like, no, like I need a break.
Yeah, I was just trying to get her to watch Edge of Tomorrow because I don't think she's ever seen it with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruisey.
He was like, it's a war movie, but it's chill.
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, yeah, they fight it like CGI aliens. Like, it's more about the premise, and it's just like a fun concept. And I mean, sure, it's kind of intense, but it's not like a really sad war movie or anything. Like, it's not Saving Private Ryan, you know. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When did I show you that, or have you seen it before?
You did show it to me, but I Stony Baloney.
Damn.
Don't remember much.
Damn it. Yeah, that's a really intense ass movie. Really sad too. But yeah, this movie's Edge of Tomorrow's not like that. It's more just like your typical action. It's like a good action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, starring Tom Cruise, but he's not like super annoying in it, so I give it a pass. I've got it on Blu-ray. I've actually got 2 copies for some reason. I don't know why.
We also watched like this movie. What was it called? Like Eternal Sunshine or something.
Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I wasn't that into that movie. I was confused. Maybe I'm just like not smart enough or something, or like I was like distracted. But I was confused. A lot of like the timelines.
What were you distracted by? You were watching the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had to ask you like a billion times like what the fuck was like happening, or like where are we in the timeline?
It doesn't like it's pretty simple like what's happening, but it doesn't really like hold your hand like through it. So it's kind of, you have to intuit.
Like, yeah, that one's about,
you got to interpret a lot of things.
It's like this couple, and then yeah, I also didn't. Okay, it's Jim Carrey and like Kate Winslet, and like I like both of those actors, but like I didn't like their characters in this movie. I felt like she was really annoying, and I felt like he was like a pussy.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like just not really into them, like as characters, and I wasn't necessarily like rooting for them, like, and like their relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what they were trying to do was make them like, kind of troubled and kind of like realistic and relatable and kind of imperfect. But I think they might have taken that a little bit too far.
Yeah, it's like you need, like, your characters need to have like, some like redeeming, like, overarching like traits that, like, or like they have to do something kind of like heroic to like win back your like favor once like you start kind of like, making them out to be like these like really annoying or like really like pussy like type people or whatever, like,
Yeah, I liked a lot of the like visual storytelling they had in it. Like all the effects were really cool, and the way it was like choreographed, I guess.
Yeah, like
it felt like kind of like a play.
It was like they were a couple and they broke up, and they like get this service to erase their memories of each other. So like it's as if they just like never met. And then it's kind of like taking you through like all their memories and all these like special moments. But then it was like, I thought it was like they met like 3 separate times or something. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And they kept mentioning how like Jim Carrey was like, had some other girl, like a fiance, or like he was like living with another woman or something like that. And I was just always like, what's going on? Like, I was always,
I think he had a girlfriend before her named Naomi.
Yeah, her name was like Naomi, and then
but we never met her.
Yeah, we never met her.
She was just alluded to. I don't think she was very important.
She was alluded to like a lot, I felt like.
I think he just had a broken heart.
They talked about her. Well, apparently that's
the idea.
Apparently he still lived with her. I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, babe.
I think you're like reading into it too much.
What?
It's not about the ex-girlfriend. It's about them.
I know, but I was just always confused because it would say like one thing and then like something else would happen that was like contradictory to what they just said. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was just like not.
Yeah, well, he's like
following.
Most of the movie takes place inside his head, and he's like reliving experiences he's already had, but he's able to like interact with people in his memories. Mainly Clementine. So he'll go from like reenacting the moment with her to like being himself in the current time and like discussing things with her in real time. So yeah, it's kind of like, kind of a little bit complicated, I guess. But yeah, it's a good movie. I think both the performances were good. I just think that like, the way it was written, I think Clementine could have been a little more bearable. Cause I remember liking the movie more when I was younger. Like when I was like 15 or 16, I was like, damn, this movie's awesome. But like, it's kind of like as an adult, I'm like, these guys are kind of like idiots and kind of like way too emotional and like petty and just like immature. Yeah. Like she's like the first like manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
And she really set the stage for, what's that movie with like, I keep thinking of this movie. It's like another example of the manic pixie dream girl with, fuck.
Remember those like Myers-Briggs like personality types or whatever?
Yeah.
When I was like younger, I've taken that test again recently and I was different. But when I was younger, I was an ENFP. And whenever I like look up or like read stuff about like ENFPs, it was always like, you're like the manic pixie dream girl of like the Myers-Briggs or whatever. So would Kate Winslet in that movie had been ENFP? Maybe.
Possibly. Ramona Flowers from like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I hate that movie too. That's another movie I literally like, I cannot stand that movie. Like, don't even talk about that movie in front of me.
Margot Roth Spiegelman. She was in Paper Towns.
Oh yeah.
She's definitely a manic pixie dream girl for sure.
Was she?
Yeah, because she was like really quirky. She's always like, you know, revolving around this like guy who has like no personality. He's like really awkward.
But then
and
she
quiet.
didn't she like leave him or something at the
Yeah,
end?
she just like leaves on a whim. Like she just does what she wants. You know,
Yeah.
she's free. You know,
Yeah.
that's the trope. We got to bring that back. Marla Singer's on here on this list of manic pixie dream girls from Fight Club. Have you seen Fight Club?
No.
It's a good movie. You probably like that one. Summer from 500 Days of Summer. Never saw that. Always looked really bad to me. With Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zoe Deschanel.
Should we like read any emails or anything?
Did you watch that movie?
Which one?
500 Days of Summer?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can check our emails.
I think I saw like am I the asshole?
Oh, really?
Did I send it to you? It was like on TikTok.
Hell yeah. No, I don't think you sent it to me. Let's see. Inbox. Let's see. All right, we got an email from Andrew Lopez. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Forrest, Alyssa. First off, love the podcast, Brody. Really helps me push through work when I listen to the podcast. I've been thinking of quitting my job at Family Dollar and being committed full-time to YouTube animation. Not to toot my own horn, but I genuinely believe I will make a name for myself quite soon. I have the passion for it. I've always known my future would be involved with movies somehow. I just know that if I left my job completely, I can spend more time and effort pushing my brand and getting to where I want to be. But my mom suggests otherwise. Growing up in a boomer household can be a struggle, especially if it's a Hispanic household. Our families are usually confused, stubborn, or toxic from time to time. My goal is to save enough money to get situated with good equipment for filmmaking. Once I get a good camera and software, I feel like I won't need my job anymore and just take the risk I always have wanted to make. My mom argues that I need a job to pay for the stuff I need, and I agree. I'm not saying she's wrong, but I'm asking if she can trust me on this process and help pay for my living until my filmmaker career can get situated. She's on the fence about it as of now. We agreed that if anything, I should at least work a minimum 3 days if this does happen. My question is, what was the process of how you got to where you were? Maybe hearing your story from how you started and how you got to where you were can help me visualize what I should do to get to where I want to be. Hope you read this pretty soon. Also, Madcap is wrapping up pretty soon. Depending when you read this, it should already be out. Edited note, I'm 19, graduated from high school, and currently living with my mom. I'm saving up for a car and paying my own stuff, such as phone subscriptions and a few bills like water and maybe insurance. I've been working in retail or generally been working since I was of age. I don't want to spend the rest of my life working a 9 to 5 when I'm living in the opportunity where anyone can make their dreams come true. Nice. Good email, Andrew. Thanks for writing in. Here, you should take this one first, babe.
You know, I like your ambition. Very ambitious. Yeah, if your mom is like, you know, on board with this, I don't know, like I just feel like maybe you should work and have your own money. I don't know. This is a tough one.
Yeah, it's tricky to find time to do everything. My situation, it was like a little bit different because I started making money at a really early age. Like I was like, I think 15 or 16 when I started making money from YouTube. I became like a YouTube partner, I think, at 15. And that was when like, that was like a really early, you know, when they just introduced the partner program, I got into it. And I was like one of the first, you know, of the groups of people that joined. So I started making like really good money. That was kind of before they figured out like the system, and I think they just paid people a lot more back then. Since then, it's like definitely slowed down. You know, you get paid way less for more views. But back then I was like bringing in these crazy checks. My parents were like, whoa, what's going on? This is crazy. I had a successful channel and everything, and I worked hard to achieve that. But there just was like so much. I kind of give a lot of credit to just like being at the right place at the right time, because there were so little people on YouTube at that time compared to now. It was still definitely competitive, but nothing like it is today. So
you were like still a minor too, so it's like your parents were gonna like support you anyway.
right, yeah, like I wasn't required to help out with the rent or whatever. Even though I did start helping out with the rent soon after that, because we ended up moving into a nicer house, and I encouraged my mom to get this nicer house, and I told her I'd pay a portion of the rent and other things, just because like I had lots of money, so I was like I might as well help out. The thing is, like, you don't want to be a burden. That's like the worst thing to be. I mean, sure, it sucks to not like live your dream, but it also sucks more to like put yourself as a burden on your mom.
You also don't want to have somebody who you like. I mean, I guess if you also just want to be like independent, like from your parents, and like,
yeah,
because it's like if your mom is paying your bills, or like if your mom is like supporting you 100%, then it's like, she might feel like she has more like say over your life and stuff, and like what you do. And I don't think like you really want that. I feel like you kind of want to like get away from your parents' support like as soon as possible.
I think so too. It's going to help you in so many ways, in your life. If you can move out of your house, I think your main goal right now should be to like get your own place. I mean, you're 19, so you still got lots of time, but really you should, that would be my main goal, is to like get the fuck out of my parents' house. Cause like, I don't know about you, but like, I couldn't wait to like get out of my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
And not because like my parents were bad or anything. Like, they were great parents. I love them to death, but I needed my own space. I needed my own place to work and create and live my own life and date and everything. Like, you can't do so much stuff when you're living with your parents. So yeah, I would say like just focus on like your physical job, and kind of have this animation thing be like your side hustle that you do, like, after, maybe a little bit after you get home from work, or definitely like on the weekends. But it doesn't have to be like a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you really have to work steadily to support yourself and to help your parents out. I mean, because like you're like 19 now, like it's like, at this point you're transitioning from being dependent on your parents to actually supporting them, helping them. And, that doesn't mean like paying all their bills right away, but, like as you get older, you should be more of someone that they can lean on rather than you leaning on them. So yeah, I mean, that's just my own perspective on it. Like I said, I had kind of a really like lucky, situation. Like, I was in the right place at the right time. So it's hard to speak on these types of things, but, yeah, I would just like hustle and make your own money, get your own place, live frugally, try to work your way up the ladder at whatever retail place you're at. Like, if you can increase your earnings in any way, like just through like a typical job, like whether that's like door dashing or working retail, and like maybe like working at a restaurant and getting tips. But like, there's ways you can work in like kind of more traditional ways, and like, make decent enough money to where you have like some extra like side cash you can invest in equipment and Legos. Cause I mean, really it doesn't cost that much to like make these Lego videos. Like, I have like a lot of like fancy equipment and like lots of Lego brick, but really like none of that is as important as just like the talent that you put into it. So really right now you should just be focusing on like building your skill set, getting your animation to a place where it's really spectacular, because it's not going to take off unless it's like really spectacular. Like, you have to like you have to be the best. You can't expect to get anywhere if you're not aiming to be the absolute best in what you do. So that should always be the goal, to always top yourself. And yeah, try not to like compare yourself too much to others. I mean, that's obviously necessary for your growth and for your like, come up, but really you should be comparing yourself to like where you were yesterday, where you were a week ago. See what you can do to improve upon the skills that you have already made. And yeah, don't, one of the things I think I regret about my teenage years and just my like early 20s was like I felt like I was in a rush to get everything done, and really there's not a rush. Like there's plenty of time. So just remember that, and take the time to develop your craft and hone it. And yeah, try not to be a burden on those around you. You should be like lifting them up. So yeah, I think if you move out, that'll probably give you more space to like work on your own projects, and it'll also open up other potential possibilities, like entertaining women or men. I don't know what you're into, but just like having your own life that's separate from your parents. I think that's important.
I always feel bad giving like men advice or telling men what to do, because I'm really lucky. I'm a woman, but even like as a woman, I'm really lucky because like I met Forrest when I was like 18 and he was just like, like, hey, like move into my house.
Yeah, if
like,
you're a chick, you can just like marry like
not
like a guy who has money.
And like not every like girl does that. Like obviously sometimes you just like fall in love with somebody who's like, the same age as you, or like not super successful yet or whatever. But like yeah, like I just like this was just basically exactly what I like wanted. Like I just like wanted to like meet a guy who was like a little like older than me, and like I could just be like a stay-at-home mom, and like it's just like exactly what happened, like immediately, like right when I turned 18. So I just feel also really lucky.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a struggle for me to like move out of my parents' house. It was like, really easy. Like all I had to do was just like make the decision to like do it.
Yeah.
And then
another thing is just like set goals for yourself, like small, like but achievable goals. A lot of people are just so sporadic and spread out. Like they have a million different hobbies or a million different things they want to get done, and it just seems like too much for them to accomplish. But if you literally like write down a list of things you want to do, and then like assign them, on your calendar, like where you want to do these things, and just try to meet those goals every day. Like just force yourself to do it. Like get a calendar, write this shit down. Like today I'm going to animate this scene, tomorrow after work I'm going to animate this scene, and just like make a list, and stick to it. I think you plan it out in your head, but if you write it down on paper physically, or get it like a dry erase board, I think that can really help. Sorry if this sounds like really basic, but that's my advice. You're the one who emailed me, Andrew, so hopefully that helps. Yeah. Let's see. We've got some other emails, but they're mostly like questions about filmmaking. And then yeah, like a lot of like high school kids. I mean, you said you didn't want to read high school emails anymore.
It's not that I just almost feel like uncomfortable talking to children. To minors.
I feel like this one, I don't know what age they are. I don't know what they said. It says bullied at school with zero confidence. Did we read this one before? I really should delete these after we read them.
I also just like anything having to do with like school. Like I just like my like thing is just like just try to get out of school. Like
yeah, just get the hell out of there.
Your parents like shouldn't be sending you to school like in the first place.
Yeah, this sounds crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like I don't know if I read this one or not. But yeah, we get some like emails from people. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like that's good advice, babe. Just get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
don't even worry about it.
Yeah. When I was going to school, when I was in high school, I was like begging my parents to let me do like charter school, which was like something that my friend did, where she would like go to school for like 3 days a week for like an hour, and like the rest of her school was like online or whatever. Like she only went to kind of like get her assignments and like take tests or whatever. And like I really wanted to do that when I was in high school, but my parents were like, no, you have to like, go to school for like 7 hours a day.
It's just advanced daycare.
And then like, come home and do like mountains of homework. And I'm pretty sure they like literally admitted to me that they like just liked that it like had me busy.
Yeah, they just don't want to deal with you. Yeah.
Like even as like a teenager, like, once your kid is like a teenager, like they're pretty self-sufficient. Like you don't really have to deal with them.
It's just busy work. Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of like, you're mostly just like depriving your child of having any like free time to do anything that they want to do or like explore any interests that they like might have.
Yeah.
Like, especially once they're teenagers.
Yeah, that's why we're going to homeschool.
Yeah.
Because it's way cooler.
Mm-hmm. I pretty much bring... I can pretty much, like, bring up homeschooling or, like, home birth or, like, breastfeeding in, like, any conversation. Like, that's because that's, like, what I think about, like, 99% of the time.
And you're really good at it.
I haven't homeschooled yet. But I'm really passionate about the idea of homeschooling.
Yeah, you're going to be great. Yeah, it's just about kind of letting the child like lead, because children are naturally creative and inquisitive and they want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But what the school system, the public school system here in America at least, does to them is it crushes their enthusiasm for learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a grape.
Yeah.
And what's left is a withered up husk, a soulless zombie, ready to fucking chug away for the machine. Literally. The meat grinder.
Yeah, like, I feel like so many people just, like, can't, like, wrap their head around, like, not doing something like that. You know what I mean?
Instead of actually making themselves valuable, they become fucking robots, automatons. That's what life is all about. Here, I'm going to go on this little tangent.
Okay.
Making yourself valuable. Like, obviously, every human being is valuable intrinsically. Like, their soul, them as a person, is valuable on a moral level. But I'm talking about financially, like in terms of like supporting yourself and making money for you and your family. And by money, I'm just meaning like, means. Like, money is just, a shortcut. It's just a way to get food and things we need. It's just an easy system. We don't have to trade goats for, flour anymore. We just use money as kind of like this like surrogate thing that we've all agreed on to kind of make things simpler. But yeah, in order to provide, for yourself and for the people you love and care about, you have to make these resources. You have to make money. And in order to do that, you have to be valuable. People aren't just going to give you money for free. You have to give them something in return. So like, work on yourself, figure out something that you can give better than anyone else. You need to be the best. Like, that should be your goal. If you're working in, fast food or whatever, or like retail, like Andrew or whatever, that's great. But it's super cool that he has this like passion to like improve his filmmaking, because like that's actually what's going to take him to the next level. Because if you're passionate about something, then it's so much easier to like learn and get better at it. And then once you're better at it, once you're at the top of like your field, you're in demand. People want to work with you. You'll get emails from producers and people who want to hire you to like and give you those resources so they can get something from you. But yeah, you just have to make yourself really good. I mean, you can't settle because the competition's fierce. I mean, you can't like, throw something together and just, like, oh, like I worked kind of hard on this. Like, okay, so now I deserve all the money. It's like, no, you have to like have a good kind of gauge in your own. Yeah, I think a big part of it is just like having a good gauge of like quality and like what's good and like not lying to yourself, Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like a lot of kids, I think about this with Luna is like, I'm going to praise her whole life. You know what I mean? I love her so much. I'm like, oh, that's great. She'll do like a drawing of a lion with like a sloppy, circle or an eye or whatever. I'll be like, this is this looks so good, you know?
Yeah.
And like, to me, it's really good, but I'm her dad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like gonna impress other people, you know? So you have to have kind of like an idea of like what's going to impress like wide audiences who don't know or give a shit about you.
I think with like children, like it's important to kind of like build up their confidence and like their self-esteem like that.
Yeah.
So they like think that they have like a shot at stuff like that, like what you're talking about. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if like you don't say that, like if you don't praise children and like you just like, okay, so Luna draws this like, you know, sloppy picture of like a lion or something.
Yeah.
And if you say like, oh, like that sucks, like that's like the worst lion ever, like you need to do better. Like she's gonna just like always think like, oh, like I'm not good enough, like, oh, I shouldn't even try, like, you know what I mean? Like,
or she might be like, oh, like I do need to do better and like work harder.
not if she's like,
I don't know. I don't know what the right way is. Like I think everyone's different.
I think that
some people might respond to that version better. Other people might respond to the other version better. I think it really depends on the kid.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's not like something I think about this a lot because it's like I'm gonna praise her. Like I'm not just gonna like pretend that I don't like this thing. I love it, you know. But I just, you know, I hope she knows that, like, you know, that I think she'll be. I mean, she's still really young.
I
don't
just kind of feel like
know what she's gonna be like, but
parents,
you have to have like this intuitive sense of like what people are going to
like,
dig.
the world is like a tough environment and like it's like a hard place and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like your parents are like the two people on the planet who just think you are like the absolute coolest, like, you know what I mean? And like, so it's like other people are gonna like, you know, criticize Luna and stuff, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like she doesn't really need that from us. Like she needs like a safe,
like a strong
place.
foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because my mom would always praise me, but I never like really believed her. You know, I would always take everything she said with a grain of salt. Cause I'm like, you're my mom.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you love me.
I think you can once she's like older or whatever, like you can give her like constructive criticism. Like if she's genuinely like coming to you and being like, Dad, like help me with this. Like I want to improve my art. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like then you can do that. But like like especially like but like as a little kid or like.
I just try to be like honest in all situations. You know,
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna like lie and tell her it's bad when I think it's really good, or I'm not gonna like lie and tell her it's really good if I think it's bad. I just know that I'm gonna think everything she makes is gonna be like amazing because I'm just like so, you know, in love with her.
Yeah, she's just so.
She's just so perfect and so cute. Yeah, it's like impossible to be like disappointed with her. Like
yeah, I was also gonna say like what you were talking about earlier, like just like making yourself valuable or whatever, like. You especially like if you're like a chick or whatever, you have like so much like power just because like you're so valuable, like just being like a girl. Like it's like really cool, like the situation. Like why do girls like you can have an OnlyFans and just like, you know, like make money that way, like really easily.
Women are awesome because like they have so many options.
Yeah, and it's like you can like work and like hustle and do like that whole thing if that's like your vibe, but like you also like don't have to do that because you can like you know your value is like, especially if you're like young and stuff, like, and you can still have kids, like, and that's the thing is like being a stay-at-home mom is like really valuable too, because it's like in pretty much like every other job, like not every job but like most other jobs, like you're like replaceable. But, like, if you're, like, a stay-at-home mom, like, you're, like, irreplaceable, basically. Like, no one is gonna, like, be better at taking care of your kids than, like, you are. Like, your kids, like, aren't gonna want, like, somebody else, like, over you. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, if you, like, you know, if you have, like, your own kids and, you know, you're, like, contributing to society because you're, like, making, like, new human beings, and then you like raise them, like you're just like irreplaceable to like your family.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
You know, so it's kind of like, I think that's really cool.
You can swap the dad out if you really need to, but yeah, it's more difficult to swap the mom out.
I mean, you know, like your dad, like the dad is irreplaceable too, but he has his own like, you know, he has his own job and stuff.
No, we're more replaceable for sure.
No way. Luna's obsessed with you.
Well, yeah, but
Luna's
like
going through a phase right now
kids
where
need their mom for like
she,
milk and stuff.
Yeah,
And,
you're
like,
right.
Yeah, like you're her mother.
Yeah, you're right.
You literally birthed them.
Yeah, you can't, like, no one else can really, like, I mean, you can, like, get pumped milk and, like, feed them from a bottle from, like, another mom. But, yeah, like, no one else can really, like, breastfeed them and, like, yeah, you're right. You literally, like, give birth and, like, create them in your body and stuff, like, when you're their mom.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, yeah, if I died, you could, like, remarry and, like, Luna could, like, have a good dad. But if you died, I don't know what the fuck I'd do. It'd be terrible.
Well, you would just have to, like, find... Yeah, and that's another thing is, like...
Would she really accept this other mom as her new mom? Like, I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, I don't think...
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah, I feel like she could accept a new dad. I don't know if she could accept a new mom.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's, like, just such, like, a biological kind of, like...
Yeah,
thing.
I don't think I'd date for, like, a long time, too.
And, if I did die, and I would want you to find someone who's, like, exactly like me to, like, raise our kids.
Impossible. I already found
like,
the best
who,
one.
who, like, thought, like, I would want you to find someone who was, like, gonna be a stay-at-home mom and, like, homeschool.
Yeah, you just check all the boxes.
And,
I don't know. That's pretty rare these days.
I would want her to, like, you know, like, cook Luna and stuff, like, really good, like, organic, like, healthy food and everything, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like, I would be, like picky. I'm dead. But
I know. You cast, like, a large shadow.
But I would just be like, so yeah, I would be like, I would be happy from the grave if, like, you found someone who's, like, kind of similar or had, like, similar values as I did, I guess.
I would keep your ashes on the mantle
No,
as a reminder to the new woman.
No, that's
What
too
happens
much.
if you mess up?
No, I want her to be happy and not feel, like, uncomfortable all the time.
I'd be like, you're not as cool as my dead wife.
Oh my god.
Slam the door, leave when we get into fights.
Oh no.
It'd be pretty toxic, right?
But see, that's the thing is, like, yeah, I have all these kind of, like, standards of how I want, like, my children to, like, be raised.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, if, like, you died, it would be like I could still perform all, like, these high standards that I have for, like, my kids or whatever.
Right.
But, like, I would just have to find someone who was okay with who wants a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't. Yeah. That's just like that's
and
a
who
that's
would,
a
like,
tall
just,
order.
like, support me.
Yeah. I feel like if one of us is gonna die, it should definitely be me.
How about we just both live? That'd be
Okay.
great.
I'll do my best.